For my movement project, I'll be covering the bench press. The bench press is a simple technique that uses more muscle contractions than you normally think of. Hello. In this project, I will cover the preparatory phase, which will be having a solid base with all the joints in place and ready to start the bench press. This will be with the bar above, not racked. The next phase I will move to will be the execution phase, which will be the lowering of the bar. The final will be the follow through, which will return to the starting position for the bench press. I will cover both right and left sides of the body, as well as changes in the joints, whether it's from flexion to extension. To save time, the right and left sides will be identical for an optimal bench press. Let's get started. In the next part of this video, I will cover all the joints in every phase that will remain the same throughout the movement, that will have no change. We will start with the ankle. At the ankle, you will firmly plant your feet on the floor, but you will be in a plantar flexion due to pushing back against the floor like you're pushing up towards the bar. And the muscles responsible for this contraction is the gastrocnemius and the soleus. The next joints we'll be covering is the knee joint. And the knee joint, it will be in flexion, and the muscles required to have the knee in flexion is the bicep femoris, the sartorius, the gracilis, and the gastrocnemius. The next joint we'll move up to is the hip joint. The hip joint will be conducting abduction due to your knees pointed outwards while you're laying on the bench. Muscles responsible for the abduction of the hips is the gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, and the tensor fascia lata. The next section we'll be covering is the trunk. The trunk will be an extension, and the muscles responsible for this is the erector spinae group, the rotators, the quadratus lumbarium. The next section we'll be covering is the shoulder griddle, and they will be doing retraction and adduction. And the muscles required for this action are the rhomboid major, the rhomboid minor, and the trapezius. The next two joints are in the same position for the preparatory phase, the beginning of the lift, and the follow-through phase. The next joint we're going to cover is the shoulder joint. The shoulder joint will be in depression, and the muscles required for this is pectoralis minor, subclavius, and trapezius. Next joint we will cover is the elbow joint. The elbow joint will be an extension, and the muscles required for this is the triceps brachii. Now we move on to the execution phase and cover the elbow joint and the shoulder joint. During the execution phase, the elbow joint will be conducting flexion while on the eccentric of the lift. The muscles responsible for flexion of the elbow joint is the brachialis, the bicep brachii, and the brachioradialis. During the execution phase, the shoulder joint will stay in depression, but it also will be in flexion. And the muscles responsible for flexion would be the pectoralis major, the deltoids, and the biceps. This concludes my movement analysis project. When all the joints and the position come together, you can increase your bench press and decrease your risk of injury.